gonna take a look at this. To me, that top is way too flat. Right here, these edges much too sharp. And I think I'm going to just actually add a little, I got some scraps of clay here. I don't know how this is gonna work, but I just wanna kind of try maybe adding a little something, a little feature, not too much, but just gonna push this in here and smooth it. You don't have to be done with your piece at this point. You could do it, you could add a coil, you could keep building. Add some scraps of clay to make it look a little, just to give it some more interest. Even if this is a functional vessel, it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. It doesn't have to, it only holds water up to a certain point, right? So I can play with the top part and try and make it match the rest of the piece. See how that's looking? Kind of interesting, I think. Yeah, just kind of play around, have some fun. See what works, what doesn't. If it's coming out of plane a little too much, you might have to cut off a little bit. Maybe you want to tear some of this off to make it even more ancient looking, if that's your thing. Maybe you like crisp, modern, crisp edges, crisp lines. You're going to be doing something different than this. But it's all going to start from that slab that's cut precisely. Look at it from all the angles. This is a three-dimensional piece. A painting you're going to look at pretty much straight on, typically. But with clay, you're going to have to always be considering the fact that this can be seen from all directions. And that brings up another interesting argument. Does it have to look good from every side? It may just have one good side. There are people who've made tons and tons of money, like Paris Hilton. If you're familiar with her, she's got one good side. Some would say not even, but she's made a lot of money off of her face. And if you look at the pictures of her face, guess what? There's only one side that's ever shown to the camera. Why is that? Perhaps she is part frog, and the frog face is on the other side. It's kind of like the dark side of the moon. Nobody knows. Nobody really knows what's on the other side of Paris Hilton's face. It's always in shadow. Why? It adds to the mystery. The mystery of why we're all here, of what we're doing on this planet. of what we can and cannot see, what we can control, what we cannot control, what we choose to control. Do we give up control and let everyone see that dark side? Got a lot to think about here, guys. And this is only a pot. Are you kidding me? Sorry if I went out of view, but sometimes my head just goes places. And I'm not thinking about what my hands are doing. And that's a good place to be in. So yeah, if you add to it, like I noticed there's a bulge starting to form right around here where I added the clay. I'm going to want to look at that and consider maybe altering, you know, like I did with my pinch pot, just smoothing from the inside with a finger, pushing that out, doing something to make it integrate a little bit more. Remember, this was once oval. It's still kind of oval, but something else captured my attention, and it was just adding these scraps of clay. And that has taken over my prior consideration of the shape of this vessel. Now I'm much more interested in just adding these textural elements. And sometimes you may find that you're adding elements like these and it works, but it doesn't quite fit with the rest of the piece, and that's fine. It's all a good starting point for the next piece that you work on. Don't be afraid to trash a piece. If you're videoing like I am, then you're going to have a good document of what happened. So as long as you can remember what happened, you're going to be in pretty good shape. And these joints, this is pretty dry clay, these scraps. So I am really going to want to dry this quite slowly. If this were just a normal slab built vase, I wouldn't have to worry so much, but here in the desert and considering the unorthodox building method of like kind of pinching, I guess you'd call it, pinching dry-ish, on the dry side, slabs of clay together. Anytime I do anything weird that's kind of out of the ordinary, I want to dry my work slower. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So have fun and play around, and remember, it's only clay.